Hi, welcome back to CJ's Kitchen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm going to share with you 3 appetizer recipes. But first I want to say, wherever you are and whatever you celebrate, I hope that your holiday season so far has been safe, filled with joy, and full of great food. So let's get started. The first appetizer that I am going to share with you is a really simple crostini. It's just this simple crostini topped with pesto and a little bit of Parmesan cheese. You toast the crostini on one side and then you flip them over and top them with the pesto and the Parmesan cheese and pop them back in the oven and finish toasting them. I usually do this under the broiler and I generally do it until they get a little brown. I fell a little short of that today. These are really great to serve all by themselves, but they're also really good with toppers. You can have some tapenade out, or a charcuterie plate with salami, coppa, prosciutto, things of that nature are really great on there. Smoked salmon would also be really lovely, and I imagine you could come up with some sort of a vegetable topping if you have some folks who don't want to eat meat. So let's give that a taste. It's crunchy. It's got that earthy flavor from the pesto, the basil, and the nuts, and then it has a little bit of chew from the Parmesan cheese. These are really nice. The next appetizer that I want to share with you is one that we call in our house taco bites. This recipe actually came from a magazine years ago, and a former co-worker of mine discovered them. We liked them so much that everybody asked for the recipe, and I've been making them ever since. So I've been making them for a good 20 years now or more. And my family expects me to make them for holidays. They expect me to bring them to special occasions. And so they're pretty darn popular and they go really fast. So to make these taco bites, you take some wonton wrappers and fold them into a pre-oiled tart pan. I use extra virgin olive oil when I do that, and I use my handy mister for this. If you don't have one of these, this is a great item to pick up. Anyway, you spray them lightly and bake them for 5 minutes if you're going to put them back in the oven to finish them, or you can bake them for 10 if you're going to reheat them in the microwave later. So you pre-bake them, they get slightly browned, and then you fill them with a filling that consists of ground browned sausage, and I like to use Italian chicken sausage. We also then add chopped bell pepper, and it can be any color you want. I personally prefer green bell pepper. There's just something about the flavor combination that's right for me. And then some sliced olives, some shredded cheese, and it can be any kind of cheese you want. I like to use a Mexican blend, or at the very least a cheddar jack blend. You get a nice melty creaminess from the Monterey Jack, and then you get that sharpness of the cheddar, and it makes a nice flavor. But you can use whatever you like. And the last ingredient is ranch dressing. So I do usually just use that right out of a store-bought bottle, but you could certainly make homemade dressing if you prefer. And the idea is you're just putting enough dressing in to make it all hold together. So you fill the cups with the filling and you bake them for another 5 minutes if they're going in the oven at 375. Or if you're going to microwave them, you've already pre-baked the shell for 10 minutes. Now you just microwave it until the filling is fully melted and bubbly. And these are absolutely delicious. So this is what they look like when they're all done. And let's give it a taste. There's a good reason these are so popular. They have a lovely crunch from the wonton skin. The wonton skins just really brown up nicely. And then you have that savory hit of the sausage, and you can use any kind of sausage that you like, but we like Italian sausage. So there's a little bit of a bite of fennel in there, and then you have the creaminess from the ranch and the cheese, and then you have the olives and the bell pepper to give it just a little bit of an additional flavor interest. Absolutely love these, can't get enough of them. The last recipe that I want to share with you are sausage rolls. And you can make these a couple ways too. Today I made the more traditional pigs in a blanket style. The difference being that instead of using pancake, you're using store-bought puff pastry. These have a lovely, lovely texture to them. I really like the chew that the puff pastry tends to have. So what you'll need to do is thaw out that puff pastry and roll it a little bit with a rolling pin, just to help it spread out and get kind of a little bit thinner than it is in the frozen form. And then you simply take a sausage, and I like to use pre-cooked sausage. If you choose to use a sausage that needs to be cooked first, make sure you do cook it first, then roll it up in your puff pastry. So I usually cut the puff pastry sheets in half, roll them with a whole sausage, seal it with a little bit of water, and I can get 4 sausage rolls per sheet of pastry. And then you bake them at 400 degrees. It takes 15 to 20 minutes. These are really great served with mustard or a dipping sauce. You can also make these in little purses. To do that, you simply cut the puff pastry into little squares and put bite-sized pieces of the sausage onto each square. When I make them this way, I like to add a little bit of mustard, or sometimes like apricot preserves. Kind of just depends on the flavor profile that you have and that you want. And I usually add some cheese. Smoked Gruyere is really lovely. Mozzarella is nice because it melts really well. Hot pepper jack's really good. Whatever kind of cheese you like. And then you simply gather them up around the sausage pieces into a little purse shape, and you bake them. So when I serve them this way, I like to have a little bit of mustard or other dipping sauces available on the side for people to dip them in, but I actually like them just the way they are. So here's a finished sausage roll. Anyway, so let's give it a taste. Manja. So for these ones I used a chicken apple sausage, but these are lovely. Again, the pastry's really nice and flaky, and it has a lovely chew to it. And then you have the sausage, which is chicken apple, so it's a little bit sweet and a little bit savory. Very, very nice. So that wraps up today's video. I hope you found it informative and helpful. And this begs the question, what are your favorite appetizers? Do share in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video, please don't forget to give me the thumbs up. So Happy New Year, everyone. And until next time when I see you here in my kitchen, don't forget to subscribe and share. Ciao.